Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, hello. This is a review about my 3 pairs of Reebok Dance Shoes. But basically, I just have like 2 models. I have my UrTempo 2 and this one, they're both Hayasu's. So I have the Hayasu, which was the black. This came from the batch where it was, when it was first launched, the color is just similar all over when I looked. And then this one is like I think this is a level up because they started coming out with different shades, different funky shades, and this is one of them. And the material is also very different. So I'll jump right ahead to the similarities. Of course, being dance shoes, they all have this circle in the middle, which allows you to have a really good pivot point. And there's a lot of turning when you dance. There's a lot of half and 360-degree turn. And when I did that with my running shoes before, because I used to be a runner, I would kind of sort of on the edge of tripping because the motion is totally different, and I'm the type of person who purchases shoes out of functionality. And I just realized that the running shoes just don't cut it. You would sometimes feel like you're gonna trip, sprain ankle, you'll hurt yourself, because some of the shoes that I used back when I was still running, they were like really good. Like I was using Asics, Mizuno, mainly I used Asics, and those shoes were really good and they really perform as how you expected them to be. So they're not for dancing. So I first bought my Reebok UrTempo. This is the 2.0. And I actually liked the yellow color, but I didn't have that size. And back that time, they already released 3.0, and it was pretty expensive. I think it's about $100 or even more, depending on the color. And this one was on sale because this was already like stepping out. It was already the new season for the UrTempo Dance series, and I like this so much. This one just takes it to the next level. The pivot point is actually really bouncy. It's not this bad before. Of course, it was a little bit of a bumpy kind of a circle pivot point, and that's what they call the turn zone. And the sole is 3D ultralight, and it has a lot of ankle support. And the mesh here in the sides, they just let your feet breathe. So it's not so bad even if it is perfectly cushioned, because the cushioning, even if this is already I guess this is about 3 or 4 years old. I forgot when I bought this, but I started Les Mills Body Jam in 2014, so maybe I bought this in 2015, sometime in 2014 or 2015. So far, even if this is not made of leather, it's purely synthetic, I don't see anything falling apart. It is how Reebok did this. It's really good. I absolutely loved it. I mean, if I'm not dancing, if I'm not going to the gym and I wear this, people feel like it's too funky, it's too hip-hop. Function-wise, I absolutely loved it. I know some people use this for walking. I don't think that's bad, but I feel like you might not be able to appreciate it so much compared to dancing. The cushioning, if you're going to do a lot of walking, it has to be a different kind of sole. But this one, in terms of dancing, I feel like this captures everything that I wanted in a shoe. Even the design. I wish there had been more color options, but I think I came in too late, and this was the only thing that I could get hold of. Everything was just kind of like being on a clearance sale that time. So I love this so much, and when I realized that it wasn't already performing as good as it used to be, because I felt, of course, the soles would have a different feel, it will be thinner, it won't have a lot of cushioning anymore, I started looking for the next option. The next option that time were the Hayasus and the Giresus. I think the Giresus were also out in 2016, but I didn't like the Giresus. This portion of the Giresus, they're usually very thin, and I feel like my toes are very visible. I have bony feet, and I didn't like it. so much, and I felt like it might not have enough of the support overall on my feet. I like the cushioning of the UrTempo 2.0, and hence I didn't really fall for the Girasus. This was my first Hayasu. It's very light, has a really good turn zone as well. I super liked the Hayasu at first because it felt like you're not wearing anything. Compared to the UrTempo, which actually is fully cushioned, this one has very little cushioning and it has neoprene on the ankle for the support. It felt like there was not much support, but it actually has. Because it is skin tight, it has that appeal. The only problem I had was that it has very little support on this part. This part of my foot would have a little bit of a strain when I use this because there's so much support over here but lacking over here. And I always cannot quite have a balance when I change my socks. Like sometimes I would wear this type of sock and oh, it's too thin. It's like I cannot keep a balance inside with whatever type of socks that I'd be using. So I pretty much have to be consistent with the thickness or the material of the socks I will use. And there were times when I would feel like I'm dancing and it's too roomy inside because I wore the wrong pair of socks. And sometimes it will be too tight because I usually don't untie this. I just wear it. I know that's the wrong thing to wear your shoes. You need to untie it and just, put your feet properly. But sometimes I'm in a hurry and I don't change the way I tie this, but I wore a different sock and the feel will be different. And I don't have that feeling with the UrTempo. It has been pretty consistent. Every time I wear a different pair of socks, it would still be okay because the cushioning there from front to back to ankle would be good. The support would be good. And that's what I felt like was lacking with the Hayasu. But as for the look, this doesn't look so hip-hoppy. Like when I wear this outside and I'm not going to dance or I'm not going to the gym, it doesn't attract a lot of like weird stare because the UrTempo is too hip-hop for anyone who's not dancing. And they would always feel like, what, are you going to Zumba or what? I don't really do Zumba. I do Les Mills body jam, but they all think that Zumba and everything else is what dance is all about. This one looks a little bit more like a bit of a lifestyle shoe and a dance shoe at the same time. I mean, if you're not keen about it, if you're not someone who is into dance shoes, you wouldn't even know. So I bought this in 2016, so it's 2018 now, and I thought it was high time for me to change my shoes. So now I scoured for the next Les Mills Reebok shoes, and I can't find any. And I even scoured for the other brands, but I just don't see that the other brands have this turn zone or promote it a certain way. I think Reebok just nailed it down. It was spot on. They were like really in tandem with Les Mills, and that's what I really like because it was targeted. But you really need to be very diligent in coming out with these shoes because some of us need it. We need like a certain amount of new models, or at least the models that we like. I mean, bring back the UrTempo. Can you just bring back the UrTempo? I mean, I saw some forums where people love the Hayasus, and I'm all for that, but I think Hayasus are also being discontinued this year, starting this year. And since I'm in the Philippines, I still have a lot of Hayasus. I still see a lot of Hayasus in the Philippines because, we're pretty late and everything. So I purchased my next Hayasu, which is this one, because I saw again a lot of Girasus. I think there's a Girasu 2.0 already, but I still don't like it. It has a very firm neoprene material here compared to the Girasu. So I still chose this one, and I kind of like this material, much more firm than my previous Hayasu. Because this Hayasu kind of tends to expand, because this is like a different material. I think a much softer cloth compared to the rigidness of the canvas. I used this just once. I used this yesterday during a Les Mills class that I attended, And look, this already has like a dirty portion over here when I try to take it off using my left foot. But overall, I of course felt difference that the cushioning is much different from my the cushioning is much different, of course, because this is newer than this one. But I still noticed how this part is still lacking on the support, this portion, and there's still that feeling that, did I wear the right pair of socks? I bought my pair of Reebok socks, and I still felt that way, that somehow something is not quite right. Overall, of course, it feels good, it looks good, but when you're already dancing, it sometimes makes you feel like, am I, like, do I need to adjust the ties? Do I need to wear a thicker pair of socks next time? You always have that feeling with the Hayasu. I mean, at least I did, but I have no other choice. There's just, no other brand just comes out with a targeted, like, body jam or Zumba kind of, like, pair of shoes. And we don't have Caprese here, we don't have the Raika here. I don't see anything coming out from Puma, from Adidas, from Nike, which will have the same turn zone. And as I've mentioned, I'm iffy about the other soles of the other brands because I might trip. It has a lot of friction. It actually has a different make on the sole. So there you have it. Well, what I can say about this is that I hope that Reebok brings back the UrTempo. I hope that even if you retain the old model, at least a 2.0. I haven't tried the 3.0. I think the 2.0 is much better based on reviews, and there were reviews about ankle support overall, that the 2.0 was much better than the 1. But I really love the 2.0 so much that even if people prefer the Hayasu, you can bring back the Hayasu. I also love it, but I love the UrTempo more because I felt like there's more consistency, more support, and more comfort when I use it. Probably the color combination might be a little different, or you can have various options for that so that it doesn't look so hip-hoppy, and some other people can also use it for walking or for lifestyle reasons. So there you have it. That's my review on the Reebok Les Mills Body Jam pairs of shoes that I have. If you like this film review, you can tell me by clicking the thumbs up button. And please subscribe if you haven't already. You can also leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to get back to you right away. So come say hi again next time. Thanks a lot for watching. See you again soon. Bye!